Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm sorry I haven't vlogged in a while. I've just been busy. And today, for the first time ever, I will be doing a cooking demonstration. You know when you go to Starbucks and they have like those little scones, the Vanilla Bean Scones? That's what I'm doing today. And it's really easy, I promise. For today's recipe, it's going to be doubled. And I've already made one batch, but I'm going to show you how to make a batch of your own if you'd like. So these are the ingredients you're going to need. So as I said, I doubled my recipe. So if you're just doing it on your own, you're going to need 3 cups of flour, 2/3 cup of white granulated sugar, 5 teaspoons of baking powder, and a 4th teaspoon of salt. You're going to need 2 sticks of butter cut up into cubes, 2 eggs, and you're going to need a 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream and 2 vanilla beans. So what you're going to do, you're going to take a vanilla bean and you're going to cut it up and split it, and you'll get like this thick, what we call caviar from the vanilla bean itself, and you'll soak it into the milk, or the heavy cream, sorry. And you'll let it sit there for about 15 minutes, let it like soak up and stir it and all that jazz. So these are your ingredients. It's easy, I promise. Also at the same time, make sure that you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your eggs and you're going to drop it into your heavy cream vanilla mixture, and you're going to want to beat it up. What you may have noticed is that I have the stalks of the vanilla beans still in the mixture. I did that to mix it and make sure that the flavors all combine well. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your butter, and I mean, since I doubled it, it looks like a lot, which, I mean, it really is. Don't ever eat that much butter, kids. What you're going to do, you take your butter and you're going to put it into your flour, sugar, baking powder, salt mixture, and what you're going to want to do, you're going to take your pastry cutter. So it looks like this, and you are going to put it into your mixture, and you're going to cut into the dough. And what this does is you are breaking up the butter and combining it with the flour sugar mixture. You can always use 2 butter knives. It's kind of the same way. So the goal is to just combine the mixture until you get almost like, I'm going to call it breadcrumbs. So after you have used your pastry cutter to combine the flour mixture and butter, you get almost like consistency, like I said, of breadcrumbs. It's not floury, but it's not butter, so it's just, again, it's a mixture of it. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take your cream mixture and your flour mixture, and you're going to combine it. So you get your mixture like this, and the best thing you can do is take a fork and you're just going to combine both the wet and the dry ingredients, and eventually it will turn into a dough, and eventually we're going to roll that out. So your dough should look something like this. It should be still a little bit wet, but easy to work with. It shouldn't be dry. If it is dry, just add a little bit more heavy cream to it, heavy whipping cream, and you should be golden, kind of like the dough is. So next thing you're going to do, you're going to find an open countertop. Not mine, because mine's taken. And what you're going to do, you're going to want to take some flour, and you are just going to spread it out over the counter. The nice thing about baking is you get to be dirty. Dirty in the sense of you use your hands, or as you can maybe see, it's a little bit dirty on my apron. And I recommend an apron because who knows what messes you're going to have. Take a little bit of your dough. Don't use all of it, because if you use too much, it'll just get out of hand. So just grab a big clump and put it into the center of your floured surface. And the other thing is you're going to take a little bit more flour and you're going to spread it on top. That will make it easier when you are rolling. And yes, we will be rolling our dough. So next thing you're going to do, you're going to flatten it out with your rolling pin. If you have another hand, it's easier. I will someday invest in a camera holder. That's my next thing. And you're just going to roll it out. So once you get your dough flattened out, it's kind of what I have. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to take the ends off and try to make your own rectangle or square. So what I like to do now, you have your own little rectangle, you're going to cut it down the center. That way you have two different ones, and then cut across your two squares or rectangles that you have. What I like to do is then make them into miniature scones. That way you get more, because who doesn't like more food? So I have this silicone baking mat. You can use parchment paper or whatever you prefer. And what you're going to do, you're going to take a little triangle and you're just going to line it up on the baking mat like so, and leave enough space for them to bake evenly. So these are done, and they went in the oven for 17 minutes. So what you're going to do, you're going to pull them out. It's hot, so please use a oven mitt, or in my case a washcloth. Put them on a drying rack. If you don't have a drying rack, what you can always do is invert a plate. So they're on the cooling rack. They're going to stay there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once you're done, they should look something like this. So for your glaze, you're going to do the same thing you did earlier with the heavy cream and vanilla bean, but this time we're going to use whole milk, and you're going to get vanilla bean, split it open, get the caviar out, and you're going to leave it in leave it in the bowl, mix it up, put a little bit of salt in there, and just let it sit for about 15 minutes. So you're going to need a half cup of milk, 1 vanilla bean, and a pinch of salt. And in here we have, again, I doubled it, so you're going to need 5 cups of powdered sugar, and you're going to mix it into the bowl with the whisk attachment. If you don't have a KitchenAid like I do, what you can always do is just put it in a bowl and use a whisk like this, and you will just whisk it by hand. So this is what your glaze should look like. So what you can do, you can always just do a quick dip in, pull out, and put on the tray. You can take a spoon and you can come over to your scone and just kind of spoon it on. It's up to you, however you want to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, because people are just going to eat it anyways. But that is Vanilla Bean Scones in a nutshell. It yields between 20 to 30 scones, and it really just depends on how you cut them. So I hope you enjoyed this, and there will be more cooking videos or baking videos in the future. Hope you like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to provide videos like this in the future, whether it's cooking or baking. And thanks for watching.